Today is day 12 of my preparation. Today I was not able to watch geography class because it got deleted. Mm, so I have to find new classes tomorrow. That's why I just done revision of the geography class, previous classes. So today I have learned about epirogenic forces. Epirogenic forces comes under the endogenic forces. So the endogenic forces are classified into two types. So what is endogenic force? The force which comes within the earth's surface is called endogenic forces. So endogenic force is divided into two types: diastrophic forces, catastrophic forces. Today I have studied only diastrophic forces. So the diastrophic forces is again divided into two types: epirogenic forces, orogenic forces. So the epirogenic forces are the forces which lifts the land vertically up. Means it the epirogenic force lifts the huge land up from the sea surface. Generally it creates plateaus. Epirogenic forces. Meanwhile the orogenic forces creates mountains. Orogenic forces lifts the land horizontally up, which creates folded mountains. So epirogenic forces have two types of force. One is emergence, and another one is submergence. So the emergence is a force which creates new land. Example: east coast of India or the Siberian plateau. And the submergence is that one which pulls the land down. Example: western coast of India. The Gujarat is a good example for that. And there is a country called Zealandia. So that is an example. Coming to the orogenic forces. Orogenic forces is responsible for the mountains, right? There are two types of orogenic forces: compressive orogenic forces and tangential orogenic forces. Compressive orogenic forces act towards the center, so it creates the folded mountains. Whereas tangential orogenic forces, it creates the fault line, like we see plateaus sometimes have a sudden dip in it. Example, you can see it in Google. There is a forest called Black Forest. So it is a perfect example of which is which is created by tangential force. So either when tangential force acts upon a land, either the land goes down or the land goes up. It is not like a folded mountain, but it is like a semicircle, like this. So Vindhyas and Satpuras are example of these tangential forces. Uh, and coming to compressive, Himalayas are formed because of the compressive forces. So these are the examples of this. Till here only I have studied. Uh, Next there is a concept called catastrophic force. It is nothing but a volcanic eruption that I will study tomorrow. And after that, I have done the um, PYQ analysis. PYQ analysis of CISF EC papers. So so coming here, I have done some questions. So today I have written some important points. Let me tell. If I tell each one, it will take more time. Okay. I will quickly tell this. So WC Banerjee has started the first session of INC, and in Jainism ఇప్పుడు okay, so in Jainism there is Triratna means it is divided into three: Samyak Janana, Samyak Charitra, Samyak Darshana. And there is a question came about Sarkaria Commission also. Sarkaria Commission is for center-state relations. And there is a question which came about bullock capitalist. Bullock capitalist is nothing but the farmers use who have land, use the use their profit for themselves only. Those are bullock capitalist. There were given some example, some Rudolph Sune and Rudolph Lloyd examples were there. And there was a question came about the 15th chairman of the there was a question came about some chairperson of 15th finance commission. He is NK Singh. So there was a question came about vice president nomination. Who can nominate vice president? I think vice president is nominated by uh, elected members of the members of the parliament, both Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Yeah, both elected and nominated members of Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, they can elect vice president. Meanwhile, the president, for the president elections, only the elected members of Lok Sabha plus the state legislative assembly MLAs, both MPs and MLAs can elect the president. And there was another question for the function of NCSC. So NCSC function, NCSC means National Commission for Scheduled Caste. Its function is to investigate the matters related to SCs and preparing reports for the welfare of others and inquire regarding deprivation of rights of SCs. Means protecting the and safeguarding the SCs. And there was a question about the BRICS summit. Oh, where was the first BRICS summit held? So the first BRICS summit held in Russia. There was some name Yekaterinburg, and the 13th BRICS summit was held in India. There was another question for regarding COP26. So COP26 was held in UK, Glasgow, Scotland. So there was another question on the 26th. So there was another question on constitution. So there was constitution. There are two types. One is the when is Constitution Day celebrated? So it is celebrated at November 26. And when was the commencement of Constitution was held? It is the January 26. Exactly 2 months after commencement was held. Commencement is nothing but we are taking the Constitution. It is mentioned in Article 394. And there was also another question about the BIMSTEC. How many members are there? BIMSTEC has 7 members. And there was another question regarding the marketing. Which country is called the market gardening? So it is called Netherlands. So there was another question about the which river has tributaries, means how can we say, so there are 5 rivers: Devprayag, Rudraprayag, Karnaprayag, Nandaprayag, Vishnuprayag. So in Devaprayag, Bhagirathi and Alaknanda flows. In Rudraprayag, Mandakini and Alaknanda flows. In Karnaprayag, Pindar Ganga and Alaknanda flows. In Nandaprayag, Nandakini and Alaknanda flows. In Dauli Ganga, Alaknanda and Dauli Ganga flows. So here common is Alaknanda. So there was a question on this. And there was another thing related to geography. Near Suez Canal, which lake is there? So near Suez Canal there is lake called Great Bitter Lake. That is one thing. And there was another question related to the why is Nellore, what is Nellore famous for? So Nellore is famous for mica production, and Singareni and Singaravali is famous for coal production. And there was another question regarding the geography only. 50 degrees south latitude, which countries pass through this 50 degrees south latitude? So there were many countries. The answer is Argentina. And there was another question regarding what is the capital of Magadha? Rajagraha and Pataliputra is the capital of Magadha. And Narayana Pandit's Hitopadesa is another name for another version of Panchatantra. And Brihat Samhita, Varahamitra. It is something like encyclopedia of Sanskrit language. And Panchasiddhantika is also a book written by Varahamihir regarding maths plus astronomy. And who are Alvars? Alvars are devotees of Vishnu. And who are Uppars? Uppars are devotees of Shiva. This was another question. And there was another question. In the Vijayanagara Empire, in the Vijayanagara kingdom, which river flows near the Vijayanagara kingdom? It is the Tungabhadra river. Who brought the tobacco? Portuguese brought the tobacco. And Indus Valley civilization, according to the Mesopotamians, they called Indus Valley civilization as Meluha. And the Kushna tribes, where the Kanishka king was there. So these tribes came from China from Great Yuhi. They came from there. And doctrine of lapse is introduced by Dalhousie. And Wellesley introduced the subsidiary alliance. Subsidiary alliance led to the capture of many lands of the other kingdoms. So here, till here, 2021 GS paper CSF was asked. Now CSF 2022 AC paper. So the Chabar port is in which country? It is in Iran. And the Caucasus Mountains passes through how many countries? It passes through Russia, Armenia, Georgia, Azerbaijan. And Carpathian Mountains passes through Czech Republic, Poland, Serbia, Ukraine, Austria, and Romania. And Apennine Mountain is in which country? Italy. And Pindus Mountain is in which countries? Greece and Albania. And there was another question. 10 degrees channel is separates which part of Andaman and Nicobar? It separates Car Nicobar and Little Andaman. And proclamation of president rule under 356 is subject to judicial review. True or false? It is subject to judicial review. And which case is there regarding this? It is SR Bommai case. And there are some other cases also. Madhav Rao versus Union of India, SP Gupta versus Union of India regarding judge appointment, A.K. Gopalan versus State of Madras. So Bombay Plan was introduced by J.R.D. Tata. Gandhian Plan was introduced by S.N. Agarwal. Functions of EIC, Election Commission of India. Election Commission of India to conduct the president and vice president elections and to supervise the preparation of electoral reforms and to conduct obviously the general elections in the central national level. State Election Commission conducts election for local bodies, which is mentioned in Article 243K. So the Paika rebellion belongs to which state? Paikas were military soldiers, come landed class. They have land to cultivate, and they also they are also military soldiers. So they are from Odisha. Vohra report 1993 is related to electoral reforms, means election reforms. It is related to 1993. It talked about the criminals in politics. And Prakash Singh case is related for the reform in police department. And there was another question regarding the Chipko movement. Sundarlal Bahuguna 1970, he is related to that. And the first Indian Factory Act was introduced by Ripon. And NWFP Northwest Frontier Province, uh, where Gandhi went, is accompanied by Sushila Nair and Amtas Salam Khan, Abdul Ghaffar Khan. Major public appearance of Mahatma Gandhi was held at Banaras in 1916. So there I have also written some important events that happened in the 1915 year. So Ghadar movement happened in 1915, uh, where Ghadar movement was mainly held in Delhi, Punjab and Bengal. Ghadar movement is nothing but they wanted to create a violent um, defense against the British, similar to the 1856 revolt. But somehow Britishers got to know and they crushed the revolt. So main important leaders related to the Ghadar movement is Ras Bihari Bose and V.G. Pingley. All India Hindu Sabha. There was one question. And another question related to the INC developments. INC developments happened in this year. Re-entry of extremists in the party and set stage for Home Rule movement. So what is Home Rule movement? Home Rule movement means governing by Indians for Indians. That is the main motto of Home Rule movement. The two main leaders were Bal Gangadhar Tilak and Annie Besant. But it was somehow got crushed by the Britishers. And provincial autonomy came from which act before independence? It came from Government of India Act 1935. Rowlatt Act came in which year? 1919. Indian Councils Act came in which year? 1892. At Swadeshi movement 1905, who who was the secretary of Bangiya Sahitya Parishad? Who was secretary? The answer is Ramendra Sundar Trivedi. So there was another question regarding Tropic of Capricorn, which country passes? So the country that passes are Argentina, Brazil, Chile, Peru, Namibia, Botswana, South Africa, Mozambique, Madagascar. So there are many other questions also. So Son River is origin in Amarkantak Hills, Alaknanda's origin in Satopant Glacier, Chambal origin in Vindhyas, Yamuna's origin in Banderpuch Glacier. Satluj River goes through Shipkila Pass. Ravi River origin is Rohtang Pass. Bias River origin also from Rohtang Pass. Jhelum Pir Panjal ranges. So Sarkaria Commission is related to what? This was a question. Sarkaria Commission is related to center-state relations, and Indrajit Gupta Committee is related to election reforms. And Public Accounts Committee chairperson is appointed by Speaker. Public Accounts Committee's chairman is always leader of opposition of the parliament. And total revolution is introduced by Jayaprakash Narayanan. Garibi Hatao is introduced by Indira Gandhi. Shah Commission is introduced by BJP. Railway strike were held by George Fernandez. Separation of powers means separation of um, it is, I think, vertical separation of power. It is no, vertical not, horizontal separation of power. It is executive, legislature, judiciary. Whereas vertical separation of power is central government, state government, local government. So national NHRC. What are the powers of NHRC? National Human Rights Commission. It can inquire suo motu on a petition. It can review on any matter, including acts of terrorism that inhibit the enjoyment of human rights. So NHRC is an autonomous body which is mentioned in the Vishaka guidelines. So Vishaka guidelines is related to the uh, prohibition of any type of harassment to the women. And then I have to learn about the child marriage. What are the acts related to the protection from child marriage also. So after that, first viceroy is Canning, and Dalhousie is related to doctrine of lapse. First Governor General of India became William Bentinck. First viceroy is Canning. Doctrine of lapse is introduced by Dalhousie. Dalhousie also introduced something here. I have to see. Okay. And because of the introduction of Suez Canal, main benefit goes to the Bombay city. This was a question asked. Lottery committee is related to the town planning. Shiva Tantric sect. What are the Tantric sect related to Shiva? They are Kalamukas, Nadas, and Kapalikas. Sahajiya is related to the Vishnu sect. Sahajiyana is related to the Mahayana Buddhism. And second roundtable conference led by G.D. Birla, which is related to FICCI. And second roundtable conference was also participated by Mahatma Gandhi, Sarojini Naidu, S.K. Datta. And Indian States Committee was headed by Butler. Princely States permission was mandatory